Very good afternoon from the Burt Hawke Reserve in Northam. And it's a very windy afternoon here in the heart of the Wheatbelt. For those of you unfamiliar, Northam is around about 60 miles or 97 kilometres northeast of Perth in the heart of the Avon Valley. And Burt Hawke Reserve was named after Burt Hawke, the 18th Premier of Western Australia and the first one to be born in the 20th century. Also the uncle of former Prime Minister Bob Hawke. And today we're here to see Old Guildford Mundaring Hockey Club taking on Old Aquinians. And it should be a beautiful match. It's a beautiful day, although the wind is there to cool the players down. And we're looking forward to all of the action coming to you from here. Well, we did catch up at the beginning of the season with the captain of Old Aquinas, and that was Daniel Robertson. And we're going to hear his thoughts as the season was about to start. Well, Daniel, obviously you were gearing up for the season, and then obviously we had isolation. How's the club coped with that?
Look, it's been a bit of a challenge, especially with being attached to the school. So they've had a lot of restrictions that we've had to abide by. And so we've only really just got back on the turf 2 weeks ago, or was it this week? This week even. So that's been a challenge we have to deal with. And but I think the boys have really it's made the boys even more keen to get back out there and get amongst it. So yeah, some challenges obviously, but yeah, we're ready to go.
Obviously disappointing last year you weren't able to defend your title. What's going to be different in 2020 in a shortened season?
Look, we've got some new faces, which is always good. But I think the big learnings out of last year were the fact that it wasn't just going to happen like it happened in 2018. We had some work to do there on our mentality, and I think some of the grit that we came with in 2018 we kind of lost in 2019. So it's going to be about how we can just redevelop that culture of grinding out wins. So that was probably our trademark in 2018. It's just making sure that every win was down to the wire, or every game was down to the wire, and we came away with the win. So that's what we're going to focus on going forward, is just making sure we're grinding out with that Reds mentality.
Now the good thing is obviously a lot of the international players are probably going to be available for more games this year.
Yeah.
And you've got 3 of yours all here in Perth, which is going to put you in a nice position at the start of the season.
Yeah, definitely. It's exciting more than anything to have that sort of calibre of player around you, because I think it just brings our regular club guys up to their level a bit more, or not to their level, but like a little bit better than where they were before. So the opportunity to train with them as well is a huge thing now that we're going to be around a bit more often. And yeah, it's obviously a boon, but this competition is so strong that you can't rely on any one player or any 1, 2, 3 players to get you the wins. You need to be able to, I guess you're only as good as your worst player, I guess. Yeah.
And the goal for Reds this season?
Oh, look, we'd love to make finals and go as deep as we can. And once again, bitterly disappointing last year to not make finals. So this year, yeah, we really want to give it a red hot crack, especially with the lineup that we have.
Fantastic. Thanks very much, and good luck for the season.
My pleasure. Thanks.
Well, so that was the captain of Reds, or Old Aquinians, Daniel Robertson. Well, bad news if you are a Reds fan, because we've just heard that he got injured in the warm-up. He has an ankle injury, so he will not be playing today, which means there'll be a player down. They're also going to be without Aaron Zalewski, the captain of the Kookaburras, because he actually broke his nose last weekend and had to go in and get it straightened, because he's getting married later this year and wanted to go for more of the Owen Wilson look, according to his teammates. So Aaron Zalewski is going to look beautiful for his wedding at the end of the year after that cosmetic surgery. But we got plenty of sponsors that make this live stream possible, and we're now going to see the sponsors' messages coming up across your screen. CBH Group, proudly investing in rural communities, and of course they're a big part of Northam. And of course there is the Country Festival is taking part. It will be, Hockey WA will be hosting the 2020 CBH Group State Men's and Women's Country Championships from Friday the 25th of September to Monday the 28th of September. And these will be played at Perth Hockey Stadium at Curtin University, and both will be hosted at the hockey stadium. And it's going to be the first time that Hockey WA have consolidated the men's and women's competitions over the same weekend and exclusively on turf. So that's really good, exciting exciting news. The State Country Championships obviously have a significant footprint for both the regions and all the supporting partners. Given many regional associations will not run local competitions in 2020, these championships continue to present a wonderful opportunity to those members and of the wider hockey community to showcase what they've got to offer. So that will be the men's and women's state country championships from Friday the 25th of September to Monday the 28th of September at the Perth Hockey Stadium at Curtin University. So we still have some of the sponsors' messages coming through. As I said, we are in the Shire of Northam for this round 7 fixture in the men's Premier 1 grade. And the Shire of Northam is here to promote heritage, commerce and lifestyle. It was founded in 1833. It was named by Governor Stirling, probably after the village of the same name in Devon. Well, we're going to turn our attention now to the team lineups as both teams are still going through the warm-up. And first up, it will be the lineup for Old Guildford Mundaring and the players to look out for in their team. Well, the core players, as we mentioned before, they're the players around which the team is built. And unfortunately for Old Guildford, they're without two of their Kookaburra players, Tom Craig and Tim Brand. So a lot of responsibility will fall on the shoulders of their captain coach, Tim Bates, who's really going to have to step up. Theo Gummery, again, is one of their most experienced players. And again, he will be looking to show his authority in the game. Jason Lockett, their goalkeeper, has been busy all season, and he's probably in for another busy day today. But he will be crucial if they're going to get anything out of this game. And I also believe that the two Norton brothers are again going to play their part in this match. Turning our attention to the Old Aquinians lineup. As I mentioned, Daniel Robertson wearing number 4. He's not able to play. He's injured his ankle. That means that Aaron Kleinschmidt will take over the captaincy. But key players really for them, Brodie Foster, who's starting on the bench. But if you look at the Kookaburra talent they have Jeremy Hayward in their lineup. Aaron Kleinschmidt has just been released from that squad. Blake Govers is there as well, and he's the leading scorer in the competition. But a player that often gets overlooked in their lineup is Adrian Lockley in the forward line, and of course at the back they've got the ever reliable player coach in Ian Smythe, and again he will stamp his authority on the game from the back. If we look at our umpires for this match, they are Ed Welsh and Reese Young, and we hope that they have a very good game today, because obviously if we don't notice them, then it means everything is going smoothly. Now, as I mentioned, it is an interesting match this, because we've got Reds, who are currently sitting top of the table. They've played 6, won 6, and have got maximum points of 18 points. Old Guildford at the moment, they are second last on the league table. They have yet to pick up a point. They've played 6, lost 6, and they've conceded 34 goals in those 6 games. And when you compare that to Reds, who've actually scored the most goals, they've scored 37 in their 6 games and averaging 6 goals a match, while Old Guildford have conceded 5 a match. You feel that there are going to be some goals today, and we're just going to have to sit back and try and look forward to how many of the goals we're going to see today, and whether Old Guildford can actually get in this game. They had a close fought match against Fremantle. In terms, it was Fremantle 7, Old Guildford 4. Sadly, in many of their other games, 3 of them, they've been kept scoreless, and they only picked up 1 goal against Curtin University and 1 against Wolves. My apologies once again that you can hear the wind blowing. It is a very windy day. We're on the sort of top of a hill, which used to be, we were told, the old waste dump here in Northam, and has now been put into a great use by they've created this new hockey pitch, and it really does look fantastic. It was only laid in September last year, and is apparently exactly the same turf as they have at Aquinas, so it may well suit the away team for this match, which is Aquinas. And so we will know, no doubt, in an hour's time. So both teams just making their way over to the side for final words from their coaching staff, and then they will be making their way onto the turf. It is a beautiful day here, beautiful day for a game of hockey. And it's great to be in the country regions because they've produced so many strong players. The Southwest has probably been the most successful breeding ground for hockey players for Western Australia. Although, if you look at the Old Guildford team, Geraldton, which is north of Perth, they've been a big influence on the Old Guildford team, and they'll be hoping that those Geraldton boys, being in the country again, will just rise to the occasion today. I'm Ashley Morrison, looking forward to sharing the action with you, as long as I don't get blown off the scaffolding here, as the wind seems to be picking up a lot since we went live with this live stream. So we're just waiting for the umpires, I think, to lead the players out. Guildford have finished their huddle. The umpires making their way onto the turf, so too the Reds players. So proceedings about to get underway. Blake Govers staying out wide on the far side. We saw him at the Bakers Hill Pie Shop as the Reds players stopped there on the way to Northam today. Famous for its pies. Again, it's a fantastic place, and he was actually saying about being top scorer how Liam Flynn at Hale is just a goal behind him. He has 12 goals for the season. Liam Flynn of Hale has 11. Liam Flynn's been the top goal scorer for the last few seasons, and he said, I hope he keeps scoring and it keeps it interesting, a battle between the two of us. So that's the competitive nature of Blake Govers. So it looks as if it will be Aaron Kleinschmidt who's wearing the captain's armband today, with Daniel Robertson ruled out after an injury in the warm-up. Looking to get things underway with 4 Reds. The whistle goes, and immediately Kleinschmidt looks to feed Govers wide on the left-hand side. Looks to give it back to Kleinschmidt. Kleinschmidt back to Govers again. Govers keeps it in play. Across the D it goes. Well, there were 2 players there. Brodie Foster was at the near post, and coming in at the back post was Lockley, but neither able to get a touch. And no doubt that'll be a little bit of a relief there for Lockett in goal from Old Guildford. So the first touch Old Guildford have had is from the restart. Intercepted again by Xavier Jennings. Picked up well that time by Painter. Dispossessed though by Lockley. Kleinschmidt now. Nice little bit of space there for James Winning to advance into. Goes back to his coach. Jeremy Hayward just sitting in front of the defensive line. One of the key components of Reds' success, apart from the talent pool that they have, is when you concede penalty corners, when you've got Hayward and Govers in your lineup, it's very hard to defend 2 international drag flickers of renown. And Aaron Kleinschmidt normally is one of the injectors along with Aaron Zalewski. So again, you've got an international flavour to the penalty corner routine. It's a Reds free hit just outside the circle. Blake Govers flicks it high to Xavier Jennings. Jennings gets inside the circle, advancing towards goal. Good save by Lockett, but it was into the foot, unfortunately, of Lewis Jones. So it'll be the first penalty corner of the match, just as I was saying how dangerous Reds can be from penalty corners. This will be the first real test for Old Guildford. So Govers lining up at the first back tree, and Jeremy Hayward at the second. Stopping for Hayward is Smythe, and Jack Hayes stopping for Govers. Whistle goes, Kleinschmidt injects, it's gone to Govers. Wasn't a great stop, goes to Govers again towards the goal. Saved initially, breaks now to Hayward. Hayward finds another foot, and it'll be another penalty corner. It's a good play by Jeremy Hayward. There wasn't much on for him there, so easier just to get another penalty corner and keep the pressure on Old Guildford. So Kleinschmidt again goes to Govers. It's a good flick this time, top left-hand corner, and it is 1-0. Govers gets his 13th goal of the season. Perfectly executed penalty corner, and the perfect start for Old Aquinas. It's the 3rd minute of the match, and Govers opens the scoring. There was nothing at all that Jason Lockett could have done about that one. It had pace, it had direction, and it had the Spiders in the top corner fearing for their lives. So the big question now is, how will Old Guildford respond? happy to go across the defensive line. Reds. And over the side it goes from James Norton. Playing on quickly though is Kleinschmidt again, looking to try and find Govers. Well cut out in the defensive line though by Old Guildford. Now they need to just keep possession. Pressure applied once more on Tim Bates. Bates may have lost that. He has indeed lost that. And reverse stick shot was a good one, but a really good save from Lockett to deny Hayes getting a second for Reds. So Lockett with a really good save. But pressure still being applied with Hayward from the long corner. Goes back to James Winning. Smythe into the circle. Kleinschmidt trying to turn, looking for a foot. Didn't manage to find it. Struggling to play out of the defensive line at the moment was Lewis Jones. He lost out and it's just bobbling around inside the circle. And eventually Cameron Dan was helped out and it's cleared over the side. Smythe just lifting that one. It was very difficult to be brought under control by Ben Wright. So there's plenty of shout from the Reds players just to mark everybody up. Simon Norton trying to make himself available. Not much on, to be honest, for Tim Bates. Had to go all the way back to his own defensive baseline, and then the diagonal pass was cut out momentarily. And Old Guildford have the ball back. It's with Bates again. Govers, that was all stick. Bates was looking for his foot when there was nothing on. Lockley tries to feed it out wide to Kleinschmidt. Comes back now to Jeremy Hayward. Plenty of space for Hayward. Foster now, just pulling wide. That was good play by him. Good pressure applied on Foster. He laid it back. It was good defensive work by Liam Woodward. Really forced Foster along the baseline. A little bit off balance. Woodward just timing his tackle well. Reds will be happy to try and draw Old Guildford out as the ball now comes to Tarrant Harmy-Jones. Former Australian under-21 player Harmy-Jones. So again, there's just so much wealth of experience within the Reds lineup. Another long corner. Jeremy Hayward plays it short. That's a lovely turn. And into the circle it goes. It's going to be another long corner. Jack Hayes turned beautifully. Hayes, another player who was in the Kookaburra squad and is not there anymore, but is obviously working to get his way back into that. Bates did well to keep possession. Being put under pressure. It's having to go on his own, and then he manages to find Piers Painter. Comes wide to Theo Gummery. Gummery, that's a good pass down the line. Very good pass to pick out Prunster. And Prunster denied the opportunity to get inside the circle by a well-timed tackle from Tarrant Harmy-Jones. So the first long corner of the match for Old Guildford. Bates over the ball on the 23-metre line. Once more it comes back to Woodward. Into the air it goes. And it will be a 16. A little bit of disappointment on the face of Daniel Pryor, who was at the edge of the circle. It's brought down very well that time by Cameron Bunel. And Jeremy Hayward, I'm not sure if you could hear that. He's we're basically becoming the third umpire out there. Not kept under control, and in the end it's Jacob Sumner who calms things down for Old Guildford. James Norton goes back to Woodward. Bates again. Well, almost a very good turn from Sebastian Hood. Sebastian Hood, who is one of the players that gets involved in the umpiring duties, as the ball Drops to Brodie Foster, who's making a name for himself as a very good umpire as well. That was well cut out that time by Rourke Palmer. And cleared up the pitch. I think that was a case of anywhere will do, just to release the pressure. Jake Prunster trying to now hem in Reds, needing a little bit of support. That support eventually coming from Sumner, but allowed to find Smythe. And there was a little bit of shouting because Justin Henning, I think, was just on his heels and not aware that Smythe had dropped deep in front of the goalkeeper. Comes to Smythe again. This time it is Prunster who applies the pressure and forces the ball back out onto the left-hand side. Brought down out of the air that time by Sebastian Hood. Reds player just coming into that space before it was brought under control. So we've gone past the halfway stage of this first quarter. Reds still leading by just the 1-0. Blake Govers with a penalty corner in the 3rd minute. Here's Brodie Foster. Foster advancing into the circle, goes on the reverse stick. It's gone wide. Lockett came off his line well, narrowed the angle. Foster on the reverse made it a little bit difficult. Obviously we had to then hit it either to the right-hand side of the keeper. He went to try and put it to the left and put it alongside wide of the goal. Maybe he had time just to pull the ball back onto the forehand, but you don't see many players these days wanting to go on the forehand. They like to score the spectacular goal on the reverse stick. I know some of the coaches get infuriated by that. So Old Guildford seem to have settled a bit after a nervous start. Ball played forward again. Almost brilliant play by Henning as he went to the air using 3D skills to try and get inside the circle. It's deflected inside the circle now, but the shot that time just going wide of the post from Sebastian Hood. So Reds showing they are prepared to go on the attack. Oh, sorry, Old Mundaring rather, Old Guildford. Well, one of the things that Hockey Western Australia has been doing, or Hockey WA as it's better known, is having well-known people in the hockey community tipping each weekend on the Facebook page. And Jamie Dwyer and Anthony Potter, who of course is part of the Kookaburra squad, one of the assistant coaches, and along with the barman at the hockey stadium, they all went for a Reds win. That was a good intercept that time from Jake Prunster, but it was always running away from him. The only people that gave Old Guildford a chance was the Reverse Stick podcast, who they tipped to draw. So good ball in again, trying to play it first time was Prunster. He's got a free hit for his side just outside the circle. Can they get an equaliser before we go into the first break? Bates plays it back to Norton. Norton tried to fire it straight down the middle. He was looking for Sumner, but it was just too far ahead of Jacob Sumner, one of those players I mentioned from Geraldton, played for the Australs club up there. As Reds come on the attack, here's a great chance, squared, and just slipping was Lockley, but that was so unselfish that time from Jack Hayes. He could have had a shot himself, and instead he went infield. And it was actually Remington Scott, my apologies. Remington Scott in a really good position and just could not get the touch. Again, I would say that was good goalkeeping. Army Jones plays it up the middle. Deflected up, but Woodward brought it down well. Under pressure now from Scott. Did well. Prunster feeds it forward now. Chance for Simon Norton. Simon Norton dispossessed though. Scott goes back this time to the man I mistook him for, Lockley. Throw him forward. That was very well played by James Norton. Not sure if he plays cricket, and if he does, whether he's left-handed, but that was a very good forward defensive shot as Bates now tries to spark something again for Old Guildford. Montgomery, and they've kept possession. Bates now towards the corner. Just lost that time by Henning, and Reds look to counter-attack at pace. Lockley looking to feed Govers, but it was well read by James Norton. Woodward now put under pressure by Kleinschmidt and avoided that challenge, and Govers superbly. Bates managed to get around Rourke Palmer, but then just lost the ball. Well, the aerial pass didn't come off there, so it's now Painter who has a chance for Old Guildford. Look at the pressure being applied. That pressure that time coming from Cameron Bunel. And Montgomery again determined to go forward. Theo Montgomery, the only Premier League player left from the side that won promotion to the Premier League in 2009. He's the only remaining player in the Old Guildford side these days. Trying to get that in with Simon Norton. Norton trying to win it back, but ball just taken away. And now it's Jeremy Hayward on halfway for Reds. Hayward scanning what's available, just holds play up. Wasn't too much on, looks to go down the line, and it manages to find Kleinschmidt. Kleinschmidt into the circle he goes. Kleinschmidt looking to lay it back. Good save again by Lockett, off his line brilliantly and blocking with his left pad. It's a long corner, and we're in the final minute of this first quarter. Into the circle it goes. Kleinschmidt didn't get a touch on that. Woodward got it away and then helped out, and over the side it goes, and that may well be the last play of this quarter. Reds looking to get the ball in as quickly as they can. Palmer going back to James Winning. Harmy Jones. Down the outside it goes, into the circle. Kleinschmidt, what a pass to Lockley. Squared across, and what a save on the line. Well, that was superb. Pierce Painter, that was just going to dribble in. And Painter, who actually went to Guildford Grammar, he's saved his team right at the death of the first quarter, and thanks to him they're going in just one goal down. Blake Govers opening the scoring in the 3rd minute of this quarter, and that means that we go into the first break with a scoreline that reads Old Guildford Mundaring 0, Old Aquinians 1. Welcome back to the Bert Hawke Reserve in Northam. Second quarter about to get underway. So Reds looking to start where they left off in the first quarter, going on the attack straight away. that's just run out of play. It will be a 16. In fact, it's a long corner. I thought the umpire signalled for a 16, and you can hear the wind blowing in our microphones. My apologies, and it is also blowing a little bit on the scaffolding that we're here on today. So our apologies if it's shaking a little bit, but we are hanging on for dear life at the moment. Well, it's not quite like that, to be honest, but it's a little bit windy and shaky up here. So certainly Old Guildford are hanging in there at the moment. The longer they can go without conceding a second, they will be pleased. But here is Scott into the circle again for Red. Spins and going to get the ball back from Lockley. Scott tries to lift it past Lockett. He was denied the first time, and well, that is a goal. It's a good finish in the end coming from Jack Hayes. Makes it 2-0. Lockett, you feel sorry for, made a good initial save, and there was nothing he could do as the ball broke to Jack Hayes, and he managed to fire that one home and give Old Aquinians a second goal. So again, this time just in the second minute of the second quarter. So they like to score early in each quarter so far today, Reds. Should just like to thank Healthway and their Smarter Than Smoking message, one of the sponsors, as here's a great chance for Old Guildford. Well, coming across Ben Wright, and you can see Pryor claiming that there was a stick check. I thought he may have a point. It was certainly otherwise an outstanding challenge from Ben Wright, but Pryor looked as if he was about to shoot, and it sounded like the sound of a stick, but the ball of course did go away from Pryor, so maybe there was ball and then stick from Wright, and the umpire, to be fair, was perfectly placed to judge that one. I'm a lot further away. Smythe to winning, losing out momentarily, but winning the ball back, living up to his name. Comes wide now, Ben Wright, short little pass by him to Lockley. Lockley to the P spot, and who's there but Brodie Foster to make it 3. So Foster getting his first goal of the day. It was a very good team build-up by Reds and rewarded with a brilliant finish. So they have now got a second goal, 2 in 2 minutes, and that makes Foster his 8th goal of the season. If you look at the top goal scorers, it's quite incredible in that the top 4 goal scorers at the moment in the season. Govers is top goal scorer. Well, he had 12 before today, now on 13. Then you have Liam Flynn from Hale on 11. Then it comes Foster from Aquinas and Hayward from Aquinas. Both of them were on 7. Foster, of course, now gone to 8. And I'm sure that Jeremy Hayward will be wanting to keep in touch. So the next penalty corner, I'm sure Hayward will be saying, it's mine. So Old Guildford, you really feel they need to get the next goal. It's a good trap that time by Cameron Down. Into the circle it goes, trying to turn at the top of the circle and get the shot away, but unfortunately couldn't, was Lewis Jones. It'll be a free hit though to Old Guildford, top of the circle. Comes back to the captain, James Northam, fires it in, and there was a touch and there is a goal. Well, quite who got the actual touch and will be commended for that goal, because it came off a couple of defenders, but I think that was Weatherly maybe got the all-important touch inside the circle from Old Guildford, but we will check that in due course. Well, that's the perfect response. So now 3-1 to Reds, but Old Guildford showing that they've got plenty of fight. So hopefully we will get the score in place soon. So here come Reds again, looking to restore that 3-goal margin. Played into the foot of Norton. Govers flicks it wide, it's brought down, and well, off the side of the stick really. Wasn't really a good connection from Ben Wright that time. It was a long, long way wide. So Reds just retreating, allowing Old Guildford to play up to halfway. Kleinschmidt putting pressure on Bates, and looked as if they'd stolen it, though free hit went James Norton's way. Bates just being told to take it back to where the offence occurred. And that is going to be a free hit going the way of Old Guildford. So they've got a chance now to pull another goal back. Just waiting for Bates to come forward and take the free hit. Again, he goes the direct route into the circle, appeals for a foot and a penalty corner, but goes the other way. It's a Reds free hit. Cut out over the side it goes this time. So Smythe with plenty of space, thought about going up the middle, instead comes wide to Ben Wright. Right down the line he goes. Into the circle on the end of his stick and across the face of goal, but it's going to be a penalty corner. That was good running again from Jack Hayes. Hayes having a very lively game for Reds at the moment. Amongst so many well-known names, Hayes is often the unsung hero of late, but doing very well today. So another penalty corner. And it will be interesting to see whether, as we predicted, it will be Jeremy Hayward who's gone to the first battery. I'm not surprised by that at all. So Kleinschmidt to inject. Hayward at the first battery. Brodie Foster at the second. Sure it will be Hayward. Goes to Hayward, he flicks it low to Lockett's left-hand side, and it is another goal for Jeremy Hayward, another goal for Reds. 4-1 now on the scoreboard, and Hayward joins the goal feast. So he moves to 8 goals for the season as well. And suddenly the goals are coming thick and fast in this second period. So big question is, Old Guildford, can they come back again? Just confirmation that that goal was scored by Jacob Weatherly for Old Guildford. Jacob Weatherly, who goes to Arranmore College. I'm not sure if he's left now, but he certainly went there. Play that time by Lewis Jones, but Smythe cleaning up in the defensive line for Reds. Lockley pushes it forward, not brought under control by Scott. So Bates goes to his captain, James Norton. Norton mistrap. Does well to keep the ball alive, finds Painter. Painter looking to go infield and plays it into space, but that'll be read by Hammy Jones. Good anticipation by the former Australian squad player. Xavier Jennings just goes off the stick and out of play. So Jennings again from the side. Xavier Jennings, over 300 games for Reds. That was a painful one for Prunster. Wore that one on the ankle. Jennings has come forward, but it's well intercepted, and a chance for Guildford to mount an attack. Looking to feed it through to Pryor. Pryor with a very good touch to take it past Smythe, but Hayden Walker, edge of the area, does well. Manages to feed it forward to Bunnell. Hammy Jones goes to Smythe, and again there's the option wide with Jennings. And Jennings playing it down the side to Scott, who just can't keep it in play, much to the relief of James Norton, who was well beaten for pace on the outside. Woodward now for Old Guildford as we approach the final 5 minutes of the first half. Lovely turn from Jones. Jones looking to fire it through the middle, and you could see the run that was coming, but unfortunately Daniel Pryor just not quick enough to get on the end of that one, and he would have to have been almost an Olympic sprinter to do so. A direct route. Foster's got a touch. Can he keep it in play? Well, he just pushes it over the side. He was going to run into the fence, he knew, but now there's a chance for a high press from Reds. James Norton is probably going to have to go to the air. Foster, though, standing right in front. He hits it low into the stick of Foster. It's broken for Scott. Scott advances towards goal, squares it. Kleinschmidt, Johnny on the spot, makes it 5. And again, it was great awareness by Brodie Foster as he put the ball out by the corner, then immediately called for a high press. And that caused all sorts of problems for Old Guildford. And Kleinschmidt, after good work by Scott, had the easiest of finishes into an almost empty goal. So it's 5-1 now to Reds, and it looks as if they're on track to continue their 6-goal-a-game average for this season. Be fair to say against UWA they were dominant and then just went off the boil a little bit in the second half. It'll be interesting to see whether Ian Smythe can get them to go on with the job in this match all the way through to the 60-minute mark. Govers, who was telling me he's on limited game time, we might not see as much of him in the second half. Colin Batch saying he just wants him to take it easy today. And of course we've got to remember that the Kookaburra is being managed very carefully at the moment with no international matches. Still trying to maintain their fitness and also their teamwork, but at the same time making sure none of them pick up any injuries. Ball comes wide again to Rourke Palmer. Palmer cutting infield but closed down, has to go back into the defensive line. Hayes, though, has things under control, goes to Hammy Jones. Winning. A good turn by him in the end. James Winning, whose grandfather George was a stalwart at Wasps and opted to play for Old Guildford rather than the South Perth-based club. His grandfather was president on 2 occasions, and I know he has a very close relationship with his grandfather. Watches every game he can, and will probably be tuning into this as here come Old Guildford again. And unfortunately Painter unable to find Prunster. 2 minutes and a little bit more to go in this first half as the wind continues to blow across the pitch from end to end. And that's going to run all the way out of play. Lockett letting it go. So Bates again, player coach, hailing originally from Ipswich in Queensland. His family coming from the place called Tivoli. Incredibly, actually 5 Australian goalkeeper representatives have hailed from the town of Ipswich, so must be something in the water up there. Bates, I'm not sure, has ever played in goal. Cleverly just playing it into the shins of Remington Scott. This time Remington Scott gets revenge, and Blake Govers, as he tries to break forward, gives himself away, just treading on the ball. That was a good pass from Simon Norton, and there's a chance, but it's just been stolen away now by James Winning. I thought it was going to be Old Guildford with a really polished attack. Bates looks to get it forward again. Simon Norton keeps possession somehow, and he scurries forward, coming across. It was a good tackle initially coming in from Rourke Palmer. Bates just not too happy with the decision there, but jogging back into position as the ball's thrown to the air by Reds, brought down initially by Lewis Jones. Kleinschmidt just leaves it behind for Hayward. Hayward, diagonal pass was almost spot on for Blake Govers, but it just trickled underneath Blake Govers' stick and out of play. So if you're looking at the scoreboard, we apologise, just a glitch at the moment with the score for Old Guildford. They actually have one goal, so it is in fact 5-1 to Reds. Jones, well, Hayward's appealing for a free hit. Doesn't matter because Reds have got the ball, and shot on the turn from Govers right on the hooter, and I think it clipped the outside of the post, otherwise it would have been 6 for the first half. But that is the end of the first half action, and it's 5 goals for Reds, and they've all been scored by different scorers. Blake Govers with one, Jack Hayes with one, Brodie Foster with one, Jeremy Hayward with one, and Aaron Kleinschmidt with one. The one reply coming for Old Guildford being scored by Jacob Weatherly. So as we go into half-time, it is Old Guildford Mundaring 1, Old Aquinians 5. Welcome back to Northam and the Bert Hawke Reserve in Northam, which, as I mentioned at the very start of this live stream, is a town that is basically 97 kilometres east-northeast of Perth, in the heart of the Avon Valley. It is actually the largest inland town in the state not founded on mining. And the two rivers merge here, and they are the Avon and the Mortlock River. And the Avon River descent used to be a great race from Avon to Perth down the river every year through the rapids. Well, at the moment it is Reds who've been rapid. They've scored 5 goals in the first half. They've been averaging 6 goals in the season, and they've already got 5 here today against Old Guildford Mundaring. Interesting that there's been 12 hat-tricks so far this season out of 33 games coming into this weekend, and Old Aquinians have scored 5 of those 12 hat-tricks. Brodie Foster's had 2, Blake Govers scored 6 against Woodford and 3 against Wolves. Jeremy Hayward got 3 against Wasps. Well, they're certainly in a position to maybe get another hat-trick today. who will get there first. Blake Govers, as we said, on limited game time, so we'll have to wait and see. But just a reminder as well that Hockey WA will be hosting the 2020 CBH Group State Men's and Women's Country Championships from Friday the 25th of September to Monday the 28th of September, and they will be played at Perth Hockey Stadium at Curtin University. Both championships will be played, consolidating the men's and women's competitions over the same weekend. And of course, with many of the regional associations not running local competitions in 2020, this means that these championships will have extra added importance. Our second half about to get underway. Old Guildford, and they push back. And can they come back? They scored 4 against Fremantle. They've only managed singles in all their other games that they've scored, and they've only had 6 scorers all season. As Blake Govers goes down the left-hand side, trying to play it inside to Kleinschmidt. Bates, well, it was Lockley, got a very fortuitous touch, I would say. Don't think he knew too much about it. And Foster dispossessed inside the circle. Very good tackle coming in. So Old Guildford not conceding in that first minute. They've just been caught a little bit cold at the start of each quarter so far in this match. So they'll want to get through those early minutes. Woodward carrying, James Norton it was carrying it forward. Bates now. Norton again. He's got down wide but decides to go over the top, and Pryor penalised for coming in that space. A wry smile on his face. Obviously a little bit of conversation going on between him and Ian Smythe. Oh, good banter. And that is Woodward keeping the ball. No, he didn't manage to keep the ball in play. So Reds ball just outside the 23-metre line. Lockley feeding it forward. Woodward plays it over the side. So Reds with a great platform on which to attack again. Govers arcing towards the circle. Wins a free hit. Lewis Jones looking a little bit as if he was hard done by there, but I don't think the free hit was given against him. Jeremy Hayward now. Hayward leaving it to Govers. Smythe, good run between 2 players. Smythe slips it into the circle and shot on the turn and into the roof of the net, and a goal is awarded, and it was a brilliant finish by Adrian Lockley. Well, everybody seemed to stop for a second, and Lockley, well, he just had time to trap it, turn, and then fire it into the roof of the net past the unfortunate Lockett, and that makes it 6. So they have managed to maintain their 6 goals a game average for the season. Remarkable achievement by Reds. If you look at their score, they beat Whitford's 12-0 in the opening game. They beat Wolves 5-2, Wasps 4-1, Curtin 7-0, UWA 6-3, and YMCC 3-0. And currently leading 6-1 here in Northam. Norton again watching that really well, going off his stick over the sideline. And a great pass to Govers, but Govers frustrated with himself. He obviously is not pushing himself too hard, doesn't want to pick up an injury, I'm sure. And the game is, to all intents and purposes, won. There's still plenty of time left, but it would be a magnificent comeback if Old Guildford could come back from this point. Lockley, his goal makes him now up to 5 goals for the season. Smythe, of course, who took over the coaching 2018, and in his first season, Reds won their first premiership for 24 years. And he also picked up the Olympians medal, something that he was second in 2009. That is for the fairest and best within the competition here in Western Australia. Said there was a bit of a hangover last season because they were the team to be beaten. Some of their top players weren't available due to international duty. This year, with the COVID-19 pandemic, all of those players for Reds are available, and they're looking a very, very good team. As I mentioned though, poor Old Guildford, two of their Kookaburras not available, still over east. That is Tom Craig and Tim Brand, and they could do with them today. Norton feeding it to his brother. He's done well to find Woodward in space. Woodward down the line he goes. That's a good pass forward, picking out Sebastian Hood. Smythe, though, read the pass well, and Hayward now picks up the ball for Reds and pushes it to Hayes. Hayes advances over halfway and goes on the reverse stick, and Foster's looking at him as if to say, you seriously think you expect me to get on the end of that one? And it was a long, long way ahead of Brodie Foster, and there was nobody outside of Foster on the right-hand side for Reds. Brodie Foster likes playing Old Guildford as well. He scored 5 goals in the last 4 meetings, and he scored 1 today, so make that 6 goals in 5 meetings between these two teams. It's going to be Old Guildford ball from the side. Bates chugs forward to take it again. That's a good pass as well. Hood into the circle, trying to turn. Strong defence though from Reds. I think it's a long corner. Yes, it is. Not sure they were trying to bluff the umpire there. Surely not. Norton just losing it. Thought he had a free hit there, but nothing doing from the officials. And Remington Scott, well, play on is the call. Cameron Dan not happy. I have to agree, it's right below our commentary position, and that caught him above the knee. Pressure though from Jacob Weatherly, the goal scorer at the moment for Old Guildford. James Norton comes forward and just asking a bit too much of Jake Prunster there. There's just those passes needing to stick for Old Guildford. It's not happening at the moment. I mentioned the goal-scoring exploits of Brodie Foster in this fixture, but the man on the ball now, Jeremy Hayward, he didn't play in the games in June 2019 or 18, or also in August 2017. So he's only played in 3 matches, scored 6 goals. This is his 4th. He now has 7 goals against Old Guildford. So again, Jeremy Hayward, always one that enjoys this fixture. Smythe will collect that. There was nobody really forward for Old Guildford, just 2 players wide, and they were never going to pick that up. Hayward complaining that Jennings hadn't made a move and was a little bit flat. He was certainly being cut out of the game by good defensive play coming from Jake Prunster, and that Prunster positioned himself between Hayward and Jennings, making sure that the pass couldn't be made down the left-hand side. Our stick goes flying, and it will be a free hit just outside the circle for Reds. Foster again showing his strength. So Reds still pressing. Army Jones, good pass, lovely deflection, almost finding Jennings, but he just overshot that slightly. So Bates again. And he's just delaying these passes out. I know he's looking for the perfect pass, but it's just giving Reds the time to get into position, mark everybody up. And you just wonder whether Old Guildford need to just move the ball a little bit swifter when they get the free hits. Bates goes to the air. It's well read and brought down by Remington Scott. Smythe looking to feed Lockley. That was well intercepted by Painter. Painter, good pass infield from him, but it just ran away from Justin Henning when he needed to control that first time. Hammy Jones goes to Hayward. Hayward, just a little flick of the wrists, looking to find Lockley. It's going to be deflected into the circle. It'll be a long corner. Once again, I apologise for the wind blowing here today. It's a very windy day. Would like to just acknowledge some of our sponsors. That's the Department of Local Government, Sport and Cultural Industries, who are pleased to be involved with Hockey WA and hockey at all levels. Healthway, promoting the smarter than smoking message. Curtin University, making tomorrow better. CBH Group, proudly investing in rural communities. Normandy Foods, makers of gourmet provisions and platters, handcrafted in Western Australia. We thank them for their support and for the support of the live stream throughout the season. So Woodward over the ball. Straight up the middle and allowed to run into the goal by Hayden Walker, who's not had too much to do. Hayden Walker, the man who is a country boy himself, comes from Albany, right down the bottom of the southwest of Western Australia. Played for the same club as Catherine Slattery, who's currently playing, well, had gone over to Europe to play, but obviously the COVID pandemic has put that on hold at the moment. Good chance to break forward again now. Sumner on the ball, dispossessed. Strong tackle by Bunell. Ben Wright, he's put under a lot of pressure. That was good work coming from Justin Henning. Henning again working very hard. He's 3 players he's closed down in rapid succession. He's got the ball, kept it in play now. Henning beaten 1. James Winnie though gets the decision as it goes over the side off Henning's stick. Hammy Jones to Palmer. And Winning just stopped on the 23-metre line. Well, Palmer calling for it wide on the left-hand side. I think he wanted the aerial pass. Hammy Jones, central now. Slides it through the middle. No touch off the defender, so I'm not sure whether Kleinschmidt got a touch top of the circle. So I'm sure Jason Lockett was very relieved. Jason Lockett, who I believe started playing his hockey in 2010 when he was in Kalgoorlie, which again, if you continue on the road northeast from where we are now, you will end up in Kalgoorlie. You'll just have to drive another 380 odd kilometres. So Bates with the free hit. We've got just around 2.5 minutes left in this third quarter. Just the 1 goal so far added to the scoreboard since half-time. That was scored by Adrian Lockley for Reds. Can Guildford find another one to just draw this quarter? That's what they've got to look at now, is just trying to draw or win this quarter and win the last one. I think the match may be out of their reach, but it's all about little victories when you're having a season like they are. To be fair, they did say at the start of the season this was going to be a development season for them with no relegation. It's going to give them the chance to give young players the opportunity and the chance to gain some experience at this level. Ben Wright just playing it away from Gummery. That will be picked up by Norton. He slipped, unfortunately. Govers will now collect, pushes it into space. Bunell almost got there. Woodward, brilliant tackle. He was slightly off balance, Liam Woodward, but he left his stick there and was really strong in his wrists. Gummery, quick pass to Woodward. Here's a good chance now for Old Guildford coming forward, and it's hit across the circle by Pryor, and there was nobody really in that space. Just had time to look up and maybe wait for a little bit of support before he played that pass. Hammy Jones hugging the right-hand side. Hayward happy to go back in the defensive line, winning. Palmer now. Kleinschmidt into the foot of Down. Cameron Down, another country boy, hails from Bustleton. It's about 2 hours south of Perth if you're not from this area. And a great diving defensive play by Sebastian Hood, playing it over the side. Blocked again, right on the hooter. So that is the end of the third quarter. They've just added the 1 goal to their tally in that 15-minute period. That is making it now a scoreline that reads Old Guildford 1, Reds 6. And welcome back for the final quarter here at the Burt Hawke Reserve in Northam. It is 6-1 in favour of Reds at the moment against Old Guildford Mundaring. 15 minutes to go. And as they say in Northam, ready, set, go. Northam, of course, a great little town if you want to do hot air ballooning. This is the place to come. Might mean you've got to get out of bed a little bit early, but it is well worth the trip, having done that myself. As Old Guildford, well, I said they were ready to go. They are. Mistrapped slightly, but brought under control eventually by player coach Tim Bates. Woodward being pressured all the time by Remington Scott. It'll just be interesting to see how Reds approach this final 15-minute period. Smythe with a mistrap, helped out by Ben Wright. Luckily for him, because Gummery was behind him. If that had gone all the way through, it would have been one-on-one for Gummery against Hayden Walker. Played into the foot, and eventually Hayward again helping the umpires with his opinions. Well, cut out again by Woodward, but it goes straight to Xavier Jennings. Smythe again. Nice little shimmy of the hips from him, sending Prunster the wrong way. His pass was a little bit short, but he's managed to get it back, winning, just getting enough to not allow Old Guildford to break forward. I must mention the ball persons today. They've been very, very good. And apparently we're really looking forward to being involved in this match. And I must say they've been alert to everything, and they've got the ball back to the players quickly. Trying to break forward again is Pryor, but helping out at the back for Reds is Ben Wright cleaning up. Now Hayward looking to pull away from Gummery. Lockley. And that's going to go all the way through as again Govers coming back, but not wanting to exert himself too much. And who can blame him? Of course, he had a fair spell out as he steals possession back now. Blake Govers Govers into the circle, Govers laying it back, and that was a good deflection defensively, although it seemed to have gone above the knee and a penalty corner being given. Well, I think there's a few people in Old Guildford asking about that one. Jacob Sumner, sorry, not Jacob Sumner, it was Jack Hayes who was saying, well, you know, it hit me high. So 4th penalty corner of the game so far for Reds. And they've scored 2 so far. 2 from 3. Can they make it 3 from 4? And they've got Govers at the first battery, Hayward at the second. Both of them looking for a second goal in the match. Will they go Govers? Will they go Hayward? Gone to Govers. Pace again. That was a good save from Lockett with his left hand. It was arrowing in. It was a nice height for a goalkeeper. Didn't really get height right, Blake Govers, but it was a very good save just the same from Lockett. As the wind again picks up here in Northam. A little bit of confusion, I think, where the free hit is. In fact, it's the far side where it was lifted, and that will be an Old Guildford ball. Well, in the last 3 years when these teams have played, Old Guildford have only won once, and there's been 1 draw. Otherwise it's been Old Aquinas who've won 4 of those matches. Always been outscored by the men in red. Good skills again, that time by Ben Wright. Right over the 23-metre line, turns, plays it towards the baseline. It's crowded there. And good defence that time from Old Guildford. And good work from Jacob Weatherly. So Bates goes to the air, throws it diagonally. Xavier Jennings watched that brilliantly to prevent it getting through to Norton. Govers feeds it to Lockley. Lockett saves. Well, Lockley thought he'd sold him a dummy, but the big goalkeeper read it well. Wasn't sold at all. James Winning switches play to the right-hand side. Right again. And that's a very good tackle on the edge of the circle. I think Cameron Dan was the man who won the ball and then broke forward with it. Certainly, having seen Cameron Dan just below us during the first half, he is a fiercely competitive player. Played for the Sheffield Hockey Club in England in 2018-19, Cameron Dan. As here come Reds once more. Just slightly behind Blake Govers, and the defensive play from Daniel Pryor, I thought, had made it go up. Well, it did go up into Blake Govers, but it went up above the knee into his body, so that's why the free hit was given to Govers. And it will be another free hit to Blake Govers. His masterly stick work winning his side a free hit. And that was lifted by Jack Hayes as he tried to get to the baseline and play it in, and having a few words with Bates and also with Simon Norton, Jack Hayes. So there's a little bit of niggle getting into the game in this last quarter. And Hayes and Norton are still going at it just outside of the shot you had there. Well, Pryor, unfortunately, just deflected that into his body. Chance now for Lockley. Feeds it forward. Looking to lay that back was Hayes. Managed to pick out Scott, it was. Bates, though, steals it away for Old Guildford. Helps it down the line. Hayward read that, and then through the legs he goes of Bates. One back again by Woodward. And unfortunately the pass goes to no one in a white and blue shirt. Ian Smythe just plays it in from down below us. Scott, and And that was deflected. Wow, a free hit just outside. Short pass coming from Harmy Jones and put his team under a little bit of pressure, but has recovered and got the ball back, giving it away again. Not a lot of movement and a misdirected pass by Seb Hood on the reverse stick. Sees him cough up possession, and breaking forward again is Hayes. Hayes plays it to the top of the circle. Nobody was there this time. Brodie Foster was waiting more near the penalty spot. So we're not far away from the halfway point in this final quarter. So can Old Guildford win a quarter of this match? They've lost 2 of them by 1-0, the first and the third. And unfortunately for them, they conceded 4 in the second and scored 1 of their own. Here come Reds again. That was played into the feet. Good work by Brodie Foster. So a free hit just outside the circle. And it will be another free hit to Reds. Hayes again, causing problems to the defensive line. So Bates now looking to take this one quickly. Throws it high. Pryor's running forward, but Harmy Jones brings it down. Gets it to Hayward. Now Jennings in plenty of space. Has Bunell in front of him. Bunell had to just stop and change direction. Pass was a little bit behind him. Hayward makes Pryor slip as he changes direction. Jennings pushes it into space. It comes back to Jennings. Up in the air it goes. Brought down well by Remington Scott. And a free hit won by him, edge of the circle. Hayes takes the free hit. Was that 5 metres before he went into the circle? Well, it was being allowed, so it must have been. Jennings will collect the miss-hit clearance, and he's going to make his coach scurry, but Walker says, I'll help you out. Plays it into Spaeth, and now Smythe has to just jog forward to play that. Bates almost intercepting. Clouds coming over top and the wind picking up here in Northam. Comes out wide to Jeremy Hayward. Jennings now tries to turn inside the circle, advances towards goal. Good save by Lockett. First with the pad, then with the shoulder. Long corner conceded by him. More importantly, no goal conceded. Harmy Jones again. Fires it in. Kleinschmidt was there, it didn't reach him, and penalty corner has been awarded. The ball going up off the Old Guildford stick, so another penalty corner goes the way of Reds. Their 5th of the match. And with 2 goals from 4, you would think the chances are they should get one this time, or certainly it'll take another good save from Jason Lockett to prevent them. Kleinschmidt makes his way to the baseline. And this time Jeremy Hayward's at the first battery, Brodie Foster at the second. Comes to Hayward. Hayward, great running by Norton, the first runner. Ricochets back. Hayward, I think, was looking for a re-award, didn't come. But brilliant work by Norton. He came out at pace and really gave no space for Hayward to release the flick. And the aerial pass thrown forward, and that, yes, it will be a free hit to Punster. Harmy Jones coming into his space. Punster denied this time, though, by Harmy Jones, who played it over the baseline. It's a long corner to Old Guildford as we're about to enter the final 5 minutes of the match. Bates goes to Norton. Norton played it straight into Remington Scott. Now Brodie Foster collects, plays it forward to Kleinschmidt. Kleinschmidt has Foster in support, looks to feed it back to him, he does, and Foster gets a second. A great team goal, real awareness by Kleinschmidt and Foster, and a brilliant finish to a well-worked goal. And that's cruel for Old Guildford, who were looking good on the attack, and then they just coughed up possession, and then Reds pounced and made them pay. So 7-1 now with 4 minutes remaining in the match. And Brodie Foster moves on to 9 goals for the season. Surely he can't get a hat-trick now, can he? He's already scored 2 this season. It would make it 3. Hayward, a rare mistake from him. He's going to be helped out, though, by Rourke Palmer. And Harmy Jones was looking for Hayward, but it missed him, and Simon Norton couldn't bring it under control for Old Guildford. Woodward over the side, it goes off his stick, or that's actually off his foot. Bunel. Oh, a lovely pass to Palmer. Palmer comes into the score as well. Well, I think that may well be Rourke Palmer's first Premier Grade goal. So no wonder there was a big smile on his face. It'll be a moment that he will remember for many years to come. And that makes it 8. So 8-1 now. And Rourke Palmer becomes the 9th goal scorer of the season for Reds. Kleinschmidt plays it forward to Govers, who's come off the bench. He wants to get involved. Hayes now pushes it wide. Hayes looking for his second. He scored the second of the match. And it would be a shame if Old Guildford fell apart now in the last 3 minutes, because they've actually had moments where they've battled well and really defended solidly. It's just been their transition from defence into attack where the passes just haven't really stuck for them. Woodward again does well to take the ball away from Kleinschmidt, looking for Prunster, and there's an example. Prunster needed to trap that and keep possession. Instead it's a turnover, and Reds get the chance to go on the attack again. Harmy Jones into the circle it goes, and good awareness by Lockett, just letting that one run. Govers was very, very close attendance. Harmy Jones brought that down, but good work by Jake Prunster this time. Prunster still keeps possession, and he's managed to find Bates. Into the circle it goes, and that was good defence. Shot on the turn. It was a good effort from Jake Prunster, and saved by Hayden Walker, probably the first save he's had to make in the match. And Prunster maybe just rushed it a little bit, but at least he got the shot on target. He deserved a goal with his effort earlier. Kleinschmidt lays it back. Good save again from Lockett. Beaten Lockett. Nobody's there, though. And it will be another long corner. Well, Lockett again with a couple of good saves. So the umpires just conferring. Good to see. Don't think players mind that at all, to be honest. Lockley brings it down. Short pass to Kleinschmidt, edge of the circle, missed by everybody. Good work again by Bates in the heart of the defence for Old Guildford. Up the line it goes, and it's going to go out just halfway inside. Probably on the 16-metre line for Reds. As we're into the final minute now. Is there another goal? Ben Wright tries to get forward. Gummery in close attendance. Wright now looking to take on Lewis Jones. Slips the ball to Kleinschmidt. Kleinschmidt releases it again. Square pass is a good one to Jack Hayes. Hayes uses it, bounces it into the turf. Govers, good save again by Lockett. Ball came back to Lockley, but he couldn't get it on target. It's gone out for a 16. That may be Red's last chance at a goal. Bates self passes and then looks to bang it down the middle. He's given it straight to Lockley, though. Lockley slips it to Govers. Govers shoots. Govers scores. Well, Govers gets his second of the match. He opened the scoring in the match, and it looks as if he's rounded it out today. There is the hooter, and Blake Govers making it 9-1, scoring in the very last minute. He scored in the 3rd minute to open the scoring today, and it was just a mistake in the defence that gave possession away. And Old Guildford have been thoroughly beaten here today, and Reds have put on another masterclass and have really thrown down the gauntlet to say they are the team to beat in 2020. Averaging 6 goals a game, they kept that average alive with 9 today. Blake Govers with 2, Rourke Palmer with his first, Brodie Foster with 2, Jack Hayes, Kleinschmidt, Hayward, Lockley, all scoring. And of course, let's not forget as well the consolation goal scored by Jacob Weatherly for Old Guildford. It's been a wonderful day here in Northam, and we thank them for their hospitality. Don't forget the Country Championship, the men's and women's, on Friday the 25th of September to Monday the 28th of September at Perth Hockey Stadium, sponsored by CBH Group. We thank you for your company. The final score here, Old Guildford Mundaring 1, Old Aquinians 9.